Okay, and we're live. What's up, everybody? I'm going to get this call started in just a second here. One sec as I get my phone set up and organized. We can go this way. One sec. There we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the call. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for being on here. I'm super stoked, honestly, to be on this call, share this testimony. It's a blessing, to say the least, to have the opportunity to share this with you guys, and it's going to be absolutely incredible. So we'll give people a couple minutes here to hop on this call, and we'll go from there. But before I do get this call started, I do want to take this time to to thank the people that got me on this call, the introduction. First off, to hop on here, and then as well to your mentor, Tom. Tom, I've never met you personally, but I've heard incredible things about you, and I know anybody that's a brother in Christ and is doing something incredible like this, like starting a Priority Warriors group and a movement. I know you're an incredibly blessed individual, and I look forward to hopefully developing a relationship with you at some point in the future as well. And to those of you guys that are on this call, that are hopping on here, that are listening and are hearing this testimonial, I want to thank you guys for taking your time. I do fully, truly believe in my soul that time is your most valuable asset. And I know you guys are going to get some value from this. Value, hopefully, from my testimony, from the experiences that happened to me. But then also, I hope you can get a little bit of value in your own life as well, where you can kind of see maybe either this is something that's happening with you, or maybe it's something that people that you know that are maybe going down this path as well. You can shed some light on their situation. And so I'm extremely excited, guys, especially because Pete was telling me how a lot of the viewers that are a part of this are actually within the network marketing space, which is my passion. That's where I got my start. That's where I'm currently, building right now. And I know there is a battleground going on. I know that there is need for Priority Warriors. I know that there are people out there that are looking for what it is that you guys are doing. And I know more now than every time in history, specifically within this industry, in the industry of entrepreneurship, people need to step up. People need to come out and they need to stand for the truth, because I'm telling you, man, there's never been a level of deception that's going on, right, as there is right now. And the craziest thing about about deception is that you don't know, and it's absolutely incredible. Honestly, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, in life, you can't escape a prison that you don't know that you're in, right? And when you start to understand the power of that statement and the reality of that situation, it will burn your soul. It will light it on fire to go out there and share truth with people. And I feel blessed and humbled to be on this call. So we'll get this thing started, guys. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, because again, I just appreciate it so much. But before we dive into this thing, I just like to say a quick prayer as we get this thing started. So if you guys could take a second with me, just bow your heads and let's say a quick prayer. Dear God, Heavenly Father, first off, I just want to praise you, Lord. You are truly incredible. Your wonder, your glory, your mercy, your love, your understanding, your wisdom, it surpasses any comprehension that we can possibly have. You are the creator of the universe. You're the creator of the heavens and the earth. You're the creator of everything, and we just praise you, Lord. I pray today that as I speak to these people, number one, that you open up their ears and that you have them hear not what I want them to hear, Lord, but I pray that you have them hear what you want them to hear, Lord. I pray that you don't have me say what I want to say, Lord, but I pray that I say what you want me to say. Lord, I pray that we bless this country in this incredible political time. I pray that we bless the people and we make your will be done. And in your Son's glorious name that we pray, Jesus Christ. Amen. So, let's get this thing rocking, guys. First off, all 30 people that are hopping on this call, I am stoked, absolutely stoked to share this story with you because it's insane to me, all right? And every time I tell it, it lights me on fire simply because of how incredible his grace is. I mean, I'm someone who is far from perfect. I'm someone who is not, to any degree, a perfect champion at all. But I'm telling you guys the truth. When you understand God's love for you, when you understand his mercy, when you understand his grace, it is just unfathomable. Honestly, it's absolutely unfathomable, the fact that he's chose us, to go out there and be his warriors, because that's what this is, right? We are on a battleground right now, whether you understand it or not. There is a war going on for souls on this earth, and in the people that are on this call, the Priority Warriors, this organization, you guys are on the forefront of it, and I'm just honored to be a soldier here with you guys. So let's dive into it. A lot of you guys probably don't know me. some of you guys do, but I'll give you guys a little background on who I am, my story, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we'll start off number one with just my background. I come from an incredible family. Honestly, just an incredible family. I see my mom was commenting on here. She's amazing. Honestly, she grew me up in a Christian household. She always told me my whole life that as long as I love God and keep Him first in my life, as well as treating others as they'd want to be treated, I can go be or do anything that I want to do in this world. And I grew up knowing that, and so she gave me my character. My parents gave me my character. And I owe a lot of who I am today to them, and that was where my foundation was created. However, as time went on, I went to college. I was actually supposed to go to Purdue to play baseball. I was a pitcher. I could throw pretty hard. Ended up hurting my shoulder, so that dream never ended up happening. That's what actually brought me to Michigan State University, who is having a tough year, a rebuilding year in football, but that's okay. I had incredible experiences while I was there. While I was there, by the way, we never lost to Michigan. We had like 8 straight dominating seasons, and so I think I was the good luck charm. But it's all good. They'll come back for sure. So let's talk about the rest of what happened with me. I went to school. It was incredible. I love Michigan State. Incredible time. However, when I went to school, this was the first time in my life that I didn't have sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have something where I could put all my time and energy into something, and so I had a lot of time. A lot of free time. School was there. But it didn't take up all that much time in my life. And so naturally what I did is I joined a fraternity. I'm like, what's cool here? You know what I'm saying? Like I always looked at the world and I could tell, like, what do the cool kids go do? Like I wanted to be cool. I had a desire to fit in. And that's what I did. I joined a fraternity and I looked around. I'm like, all right, how do you become cool? It's all a game, right? Life's like a big old game. And like high school was a game. I figured out how to do that. If you're really good at sports, you can be cool in high school. Like how's college? I can't be an athlete here. What's like the next step? Fraternity life. Awesome. I'm in the fraternity. Now it's like, how do I navigate this really interesting environment? It's like, all right, I see these guys up here run it. How do I get in with them? And I'm like, all right, cool. The coolest kids are the ones that can drink the most and that party the hardest. All right. And I'm like, I've never really drank or partied anymore at all. Like I didn't do it in high school. I didn't do it at all because I was so focused on my sports. And I was like, I can do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have any other responsibilities. School is okay. So let's give this thing a shot. And I'm a firm believer that how you do anything is how you do everything. And I went in. You know what I'm saying? Like I went in, honestly. I partied a lot and I took pride in it. You know what I'm saying? I could drink a beer faster than probably anyone that you could ever imagine in your entire life. All right. And I can still drink a beer pretty fast, honestly. And I prided myself on partying, on going out, on girls, on all that kind of stuff that's in the college scene. And what's so crazy is that you have this level of justification in your brain because it's like it can't be that bad if everyone else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look around and it's like literally every person. There are 40,000 people on this freaking campus right now here at Michigan State University, and I would say on any given weekend, probably 30,000 of them have some sort of substance, whether they're high, whether they're drunk, whether they're anything. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, this is just like what you do. And so that's what I did. And I did it very well. However, what's so interesting is God has such a unique way of teaching you lessons, because I grew up with this incredible foundation and then I went away from it. But if anyone still asked me if I were a Christian, I would have said absolutely I am. Even though I wasn't living it, I still said I was. And so we have this crazy fog, we have this crazy sense of, it's hard to say. How do you say it? You have this idea where you're in delusion, where you think you're living by the word, and you say you believe him, but to know and not to do is not to know. You know what I'm saying? And so I was on that road. I was doing well, but then God had a really unique way of humbling me. I actually, by the time I was 20 years old, actually 19 years old, get this, 19 years old, from the time I was 18 to 19 years old, in a year and a half span, I actually ended up getting 3 MIPs. An MIP is a minor in possession of alcohol. And for those of you guys that don't know, those are not good. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're expensive. They can go on your record. And not to mention when you come from a family like I come from, I might as well have murdered somebody. All right. It was like on that level of horror in the eyes of my parents. I was the lowest of the low. And I felt like I was low because I looked in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look in the mirror and you see, or when you're sitting down, your parents tell you, excuse me, they're like, I'm disappointed in you. Like, that is so much worse than when they say they're mad at you. You follow me? And that was how I felt, except it wasn't my parents that had to tell me they were disappointed in me. I looked in the mirror and I felt, that I was disappointed in me. I remember one time I spent, this is my last MIP I got. I had to spend a night in the drunk tank, and I remember looking at this little mirrors, and there were like 4 other people. This dude was like passed out, just hammered drunk. This guy over here like puked on himself, and I'm in this tiny little cell thingy, and there's like this little mirror there, like right by like where you can go to the bathroom in there, and it's like a foggy mirror, and I remember looking in that mirror and seeing myself and just being disgusted, with who I was. I was disgusted with the person that was looking back in the mirror. I knew I wasn't living up to my potential. I knew I wasn't doing what I was meant to do on this earth, because I always had perspective. I grew up with a family where my aunt is the director of the Peace Corps. She's the highest position in the largest charity in the world. My uncle was in gas and oil. He made hundreds of millions of dollars in that way. My parents gave me an incredible lifestyle. I was able to travel. I'm so blessed. I could have been born in India. I could have been born in Africa. I could have been born anywhere. I was born in upper tier, top tier, America as a white male. With all working limbs, with the ability to communicate effectively to individuals. Like, I was born to do something, and if I don't actually do something with my life, like what am I doing? I'm a wasted talent. What happens when you have someone in sports who has a 45-inch vertical and has an unbelievable jump shot, but then he just never shows up to practice and he ends up not going anywhere? The guy could have been one of the greats in the world, you know what I'm saying? But if he doesn't live up to his potential, what do you label him? He's a wasted talent. And that's how I felt I was in my life. I was being a wasted talent. And so it's so crazy, because oftentimes when things are bad, that's when we go to God. When things don't go our way, that's when we go to God. And that's what happened to me. Things weren't going in my way. And I remember just giving it up to him. This was the first time in my life that I really consciously just gave it up to him. I was like, God, like, what am I doing? I'm sorry. I repented. I was crying. And I gave it up to a power much higher than myself. And I'm like, show me a way. Like, give me a way out, Lord. I want to reinvent myself. That's what I prayed for, was an opportunity to reinvent myself. I wanted an opportunity to hit the reset button on my life. I wanted an opportunity, all right? I wanted the opportunity to go out there and do something of myself and really show him and show other people that your past doesn't define your future, and you can hit the reset button. And I was blessed with that. When I was 19 years old, I was introduced to network marketing, and it changed my life. It inspired me to dream. You see, that was the biggest thing that happened, is that it inspired me to dream. For the first time in my life, I believe that how I looked around in the world and I'm like, how this is, it doesn't have to be how it always is. I saw the world as not something concrete, but as something flexible that I could influence and change. I saw a platform where I could become a leader. I saw an opportunity where I can go out there and make my parents proud, make my family proud, be able to give my future family a way to have a lifestyle that I was blessed to live with, as a kid. And I saw a way out. I saw a way out, and I got started with it. And it's crazy, because the first 4 months of it were quite literally the hardest 4 months of my entire life. Like, I gave up everything. I had a moment where, like, I knew, because sometimes when you know. I don't know if you guys ever experienced like love at first sight. I personally have never like looked at a woman just like, falling in love with her like right away. That's personally never happened to me. But however, I have experienced love at first sight with a business. The first time I saw network marketing, I was like, marry me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, this is where I am going to go out there and I'm going to change my life. This is where I'm going to go out there and make a legacy. This is where everything's going to go out there and change. I'm like, I'm never going to quit this until I make millions of dollars and I change hundreds, if not thousands of lives. All right. That's what I thought. And so I had this huge vision, this huge dream when I got started, and I thought everybody was going to be so down for it. 4 months later, I found myself friendless. All right, friendless, definitely. I for the first time in my life, I committed social suicide. Is really what ended up happening. All right, I committed social suicide. I went out there and my grades started going down. My family, they were like, "You're crazy." All right, they always supported me. They're always like, "All right, Luke, we believe in you. Trust me." But when someone says they believe in you, but in the back of the mind, it's like, they're like, I don't know about this. It's like, why don't you just go do normal stuff? Like, you have an awesome opportunity. You could just graduate school, get really good grades, you get a great job with your family. Like, why are you trying to go do this stuff? And so I had this dilemma with me, and I had a low in my life. I got another one. I got depressed, I got anxious, I got just to the point where, I just didn't know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to go out there and do. And I remember 4 months into it, my girlfriend of 3 years ended up breaking up with me. A lot of my friends, they just wouldn't talk to me. My family didn't 100% believe in everything that I was going out there and doing. They were still supportive, but I could sense that they didn't really believe in it. And I started to stop, believing in me. And I remember at 3 a.m. one night, there was a park outside my bench or outside my house. And I remember walking over there at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia, and I just remember sitting on a park bench, and I remember just crying, just crying, and because I just I thought of everything I had sacrificed, everything that was there. I thought this was going to be this huge win for me in my life, and it seemed like this was just the biggest failure of all time. And I prayed for guidance. I prayed for direction. I'm like, God, show me a sign that this is the right way for me, that this is the direction you want me to go in. Like, give me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something here. And right when I asked that, I saw a shooting star go across the sky. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my entire life. And immediately I went from crying to where I had just chills. I started laughing, and I just realized that everything that I had gone through, all the trials, all the tribulations, all the everything I had to go through, it was all for a reason, and I realized that God was putting me through these experiences so that I could go out there and tell others that, when they go through these, that it's worth it and to keep going. And so that was my first experience where I really had communication with God. I felt like I really talked to him, and he spoke back to me. I asked for a sign, and he gave it. And what's so crazy is that the next 19 months, he just blessed me and my team. It was incredible. In 19 months, we went from, nothing, 2 kids sitting in a dorm room, to we had over 10,000 people in our business. I was seeing checks of, 30 grand. My highest check was $38,000, in a single month. We helped a lot of people make a lot of money. It was just an incredible, experience. But this is where the story gets really wild. And one sec as I plug this phone in. My phone's starting to die here, but this is when the story gets really, really wild for me, is that now I'm on top of the world. You know what I'm saying? Teams of thousands of people. I'm making more money than my dad, who was a doctor at times. I'm getting it, and in Proverbs it talks about how pride comes before the fall, right? And I started becoming very prideful, and I started looking and seeking for secret knowledge, knowledge that would give me ahead of everybody else. I always thought that if you wanted what other people didn't have, you had to do what other people didn't do. And I thought that the people who were just making the unbelievable money, they had a certain knowledge and understanding and awareness that other people didn't have, which is true to a degree. But there's a very fine line, between deceit and truth. And so I started diving deep into some of this knowledge. I started studying deep into, the law of attraction and The Secret and those things. And, I'm not here saying those things are all wrong or anything like that, to any degree. I think there's truths there, but I think that 99.99% truth and 0.1% lie is still a lie. You know what I'm saying? And I dove deep into this stuff. Deep. I mean deep, man. I was reading books. There's a book I bought, all right, that it was this hidden book, and it said in the book, all right, and this is, I'm not going to swear it because that'd be the wrong place, but the name of the book was The Big Effing Secret, all right, How to Live a Kick-Ass Life Despite All the Bullshit. Oops, I swore. But that was the name of the book. And if you look up the book online right now, it's like a $3,000 book, all right, and I bought it for $20. And in the book, it says that the elites, the global elites, because I'm learning how the world is working right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm diving into knowledge. I'm realizing the Federal Reserve and how it was privately privately owned by bankers. And so our government is in debt to private bankers like you and I. You know, I remember looking into figuring out the food and how they're putting all this poison into our food, about the fluoride in the water, about the education system, you know, and how the creator of the education system, Rockefeller, literally said, I would rather create workers than thinkers. How Rothschild, the father of our banking system, said, give me control of a country or a nation's monetary system, and I care not who writes the laws. Like, I'm learning this stuff, and I'm learning, all right, that there is just like massive deception, BS going on everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, on such a huge level. And what I thought, and the conclusion I came to, was that these people who were doing all this crap, all right, these people who were going out there and suppressing and pacifying the society, these people that were going out there and doing that, I thought they got to where they were because they understood this secret esoteric knowledge that other people didn't understand, and that they were holding it back. They were holding it back from everybody else, all right? And that's why no one else could get to their level. And so that's why I went to search for this knowledge, because I was like, dude, like, I need to give it to everybody, you know? Like, I thought I was doing a good thing. Like, I was like, there is a war going on, and these are the bad guys, and I'm a good guy, and I'm going to be a good guy by sharing the secret knowledge with everybody out there. You guys know what I'm saying here? And so this is the thing. It's because I think I'm doing the right thing at this point, but this is when it gets so wild, you know? So I get this book, and you know, in the book, it says that the elites, this is such a revealing book, that the elites were going to take it off the shelves, you know, and they're never going to be able to get it again. So you got to buy it now, because they're going to take it off the shelves, and then it will cost thousands and thousands of dollars if you do that. And so I bought the book, you know, and you know what blew my mind is that like 3 weeks later, they took it off the shelves, and now it's like $3,000 to go get. And so this just took my belief in this information from like here to here, you know, and it basically explains in this book how you are a creator. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you are a creator, like, quite literally, you are almost a god, is like what it talks about on this earth. And it's an incredible belief system. It goes on your pride. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I got all this stuff. And so I'm diving into all this information, and it is just like, wow, dude, like, how do I know this? Like, how am I getting shown this information out of everyone else in the world? Like, this is insane stuff right now. Like, wow, I'm on top of the world. And so I'm like basically low-key, like, creating, like, a team to go out there and beat these guys. Like, guys, we're going to share this with everybody. We're going to wake people up. We're going to raise the global consciousness. You know, we're going to help people ascend into the city of luniferous ascension. That's what we called it, the civilization of luniferous ascension, where finally we're going to get people to realize they are creators, you know, that they are powerful. And then what's going to happen is the global consciousness is going to go up, and domino effect, 100th monkey syndrome, boom, we're going to ascend into a utopian society where we all realize our true power, and we're going to have peace on earth, and it's going to be incredible. And so this is what I'm thinking right now. And I'm like, all right, this is my life purpose. Let's rock this thing. And so now I'm going through life. Life's good. And I go to a mission trip in Gary, West Virginia. And this is when stuff gets wild. All right. This is when stuff gets wild. I go on this mission trip with Gary, West Virginia with like 40 of my teammates. So I'm not alone. My mom is there. My dad is there. My family is there. Like, a lot of people are there. And when I'm on this mission trip, guys, this is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. We, at the end of the mission trip, we're working in this subdivision, and we invite all the people in this little subdivision to come to the school that we were staying at for like a barbecue and a picnic. And it was insane because, you know, they all come there and they don't have anything. You know, these guys, they're in a place where, they're told to, you know, have babies when they're 13 years old because they can get more money from the government. They're told not to get a job because they can get more money from the government. You know, they're told to do all these crazy things. All right. It's a crazy mindset. And so we went there, and so we're here, we're having this barbecue, and I want you guys to get this in your mind real quick, because this is an important thing to understand, a very, very important thing to understand. Is that we're now sitting there. So I want you to visualize in your head right now a basketball court, okay? So you got half court right here on this side and on this side. And on this side, there are rows of chairs, okay? Rows of chairs. Probably 80 people in the gym, 80 to 100 people in the gym. So that's how many chairs there were. And if you go on the other end of it, we have these kids, the kids that are in this in this subdivision. They all got together and they created like this dance and these songs and things like that. And so they were doing like a performance for all of us. So we're sitting over here, and these kids are doing this performance, and it was very touching. A lot of these kids, they were born addicted to cocaine, born addicted to heroin. It was really, really sad to see them, but really incredible to see them, sing and just have love, and it was all about Jesus and everything, and it was incredible, And so at the end of this thing, I want you guys to visualize this. These rows, remember, I'm in the very front right row, okay, at the very front right row. And get this. Right after this thing's done, and I'm like tearing up at this point, like right when this is done, because it was just such a powerful thing for me, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, okay, so everyone like stands up. I take a second to stand up, and then let me a second here. And then when I stand up, all right, I'm here, I'm like, all right, I'm standing up. I stand up and I look around to the left, and remember the rows, right? The rows like this. I'm in the front right. In the very back left, there was a lady, and I didn't know her name. Her name was Princess. Okay, I didn't know it at the time, but I later figured out her name was Princess. Princess, let me tell you a little about her. She's someone who was extremely sick. At the time, she couldn't walk. We had to walk her in on a wheelchair, so handicap. She spoke like this, like just very, very sick old lady. And so when I stand up, I turn around and make eye contact with Princess. Princess makes eye contact with me, and then Princess stands up out of her wheelchair. She can't walk, remember this, and bolts over to me, moving chairs, all right? So a lady who cannot walk, let me paint you this picture, in front of like 40 other people of my friends, a lady who can't walk, stands up and comes over and bolts over to me, moving chairs, puts her arm on my shoulder, looks me in my soul, guys. I mean, in my soul. The energy that I felt was like nothing I'd ever imagined. Right when she looked at me, I was crying. All right, right when it happened, my mom was right there, and she looked at me in my soul, and she said, my mom was right there. She's on this broadcast. My mom was sitting right next to me when this happened. She put her arm on my shoulder, and she said, "You were here to do something great on this earth. God has an incredible purpose for you. You're here to go change the world. You're going to make an impact that is on a huge level." And then she looked at my mom and she says, "You don't know what he's going to do, but he knows what he needs to do, and you need to tell me what he's going to do." And she goes on and starts doing this, all right? Starts doing this. And then literally 5-10 people from this little village, this little, area goes around, and they start blessing me. They get around me and they all start blessing me and like praying for me and all these different stuff. And it was like I was bawling my eyes out. Like, guys, you got to put yourself in my shoes. I'm just a kid, like I'm 22, 23 years old, and this is some heavy stuff, like God, and this lady is speaking to me like I'm speaking to you right now, like powerfully, like boom, like and she's usually speaking like this, and she can't walk. So I'm like, this is not her speaking to me. This is like God speaking through her to me. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I'm overwhelmed. I'm bawling my eyes out. I end up going upstairs. And I'm just crying, and she looks at my mom being like, "I don't know what he's going to do, but he knows what he needs to do, and you need to tell me what he's going to do. So you need to write down your address and give it to me, and I'll give you mine. So when he does what he's going to do, you can tell me what it is." And so I go upstairs and I just sit on my bed. I just take out my Bible. I'm just crying, dude, like bawling my eyes out, like reading this Bible. My mom goes out there and she comes back and she's like wrote down on a sheet of paper like my address and all this kind of stuff. And she comes down and she's like, "Luke, do you want me to go give this to her? You want to come with me?" I was like, "No, I don't want to come with you. Like, I am good. Like, this is enough for me." And so she starts walking downstairs with my good friend Mitch Shire, actually was there with her, and I stay upstairs. And at this point, it's been probably 10 minutes, and this is starting to digest with me, And this is what's so crazy is that now I'm sitting there, and all these thoughts were coming to my head. Remember everything I learned about the elite, about how the crap they're putting in the food, about the energy suppression, about the federal Federal Reserve and how they're keeping people enslaved by debt, you know, all this kind of stuff, and how I wanted to go out there and change it, and they were suppressing all this knowledge, and I was like, wow, like that is what I'm going to do. Like, yeah, you're right. Maybe this is good. This is an awesome thing. I shouldn't be worried about this. Like, he just told me I'm going to do what I thought I was going to do. This is amazing. And so this pride starts boiling back up in me, and I start like, man, I need to tell people their power, who they are. Like, I should never be scared to go do that. And this pride starts boiling back up in me, and now my mom is going back downstairs, and this is when it gets crazy. If you thought it was crazy before, wait for this, all right? This is crazy. And so I go downstairs. I'm not downstairs. I'm upstairs. My mom goes downstairs, with Mitch Shire, without me, all right? And I'm upstairs, and she walks out the door, and let me paint this picture for you. It's like here, I'll draw it for you. Ooh, hello. That was dangerous. So here, it's like this, all right? So imagine this is kind of how it goes. So the door, let me put this here, one sec. The door, as like when you come out of the place, so like let's say they walk out over here. This is where they walk out, and then over here, this is such a good part too. I'm holding you guys in suspense as I try and make my phone stand up on its stand. There we go. Oh no. Oh, I almost ended the video for you guys. This is the best part too. All right, so now my mom walks out the door, and around the corner over here, I'm just going to do it like this. Princess is sitting there, all right? And she's back to her normal self. Like, she's sitting in her wheelchair, just doing her thing. Now what happens is, again, Princess snaps into it. So, like, I'm not here for this. Remember, Princess is sitting in her chair. Normal Princess. Not like, boom, on fire Princess. Like normal Princess, like, can't walk, can't talk Princess. She's sitting there. My mom walks out the door. Princess, like, looks over like this and then snaps right back into it. She goes over to my mom, like goes the same way, walks up out of her chair, sprints over to my mom, puts her arm on my mom's shoulder, and she says, "Your son has a demon inside of him." All right? Your son has a demon inside of him. And he is at a crossroads in his life. If he continues to follow man, he will lead himself and many others to destruction. However, if he changes his ways and follows God, he will lead himself and many others to salvation. All right? And so I am upstairs. All right? I'm upstairs. And I'm chilling.